Hussain, 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 Ayyam-e Hussain, Ayyam-e Hussain, Ayyam-e Hussain, Ayyam-e Hussain. चांद मुहर्रम का हुआ है अयाम-ए हुसैन।
अब मैं मुल्तमिस हूँ हमारी अंजुमन के किबला जो किसी तारफ़ के मोहताज नहीं, मेरी मुराद अल्लामा मौलाना सैयद इबरार और हुसैन नकवी साहब के वो मेंबर अफरोज़ हूँ और अपने मखसूस अंदाज में आज की इस मजलिस से अज़ा से अपना नजराना अकीदत पेश करें। बुलंदतर सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला सय्यदिल अशरफिल अंबिया वल मुरसलीन। तबीब क़ुलूबिना व तबीब नफूसिना अबिल क़ासिम मुहम्मद। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। सल्लातु वस्सलामु अला अहले तय्यबीन ताहिरीन अल मासूमीन अल मुंतजबीन व लअनतुल्लाहि अलैहिम अजमईन व लअनतुल्लाहि अला अअदाइहिम अजमईन। क़ाल रसूलुल्लाहि सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि व आलिहि वसल्लम हुसैन मिन्नी व अना मिनल हुसैन। Can we have a loud salawat upon Muhammad and Ali Muhammad? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Today it is the 7th of Muharram, and yet again we have gathered on the platform of Anjuman Ghulaman Awlad Zahra Salamullah Alayha to remember and to recall the tragedies that fell upon Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. And through the zikr of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, we are all trying to change our lives, to try to understand the azmat of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. Continuing from where I left off yesterday, that every single person is trying and asking Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive his sins. And we see that in today's day and age, our youngsters, our youth are trying their hardest to understand the azmat of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. Especially in today's day and age, more work needs to be done on our youth, on our youngsters, so that they can understand what is the fazilat of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. It is very important that first of all, before we can ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive our sins, we need to realize that every action that we are taking, every single thing that we are doing in our lives, they have a reaction. If we do good in our life, then Allah Azza wa Jal will reward us in this dunya and will also reward us when we leave this dunya in our grave. And if we commit a sin, if we commit an action against God, then Allah Azza wa Jal will punish us in this dunya also, and our hereafter, in our grave, we will also be punished. A person came to Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam and said, he came to the Imam and said, "Oh Imam, I have committed many sins. I have come to you because I want to know how is it that I can ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive me." He came thinking that the Imam would tell him such a plan or such a wazifa or such an action to do in which his sins will be forgiven. The Imam looked at him and said, "O person, if you want Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive your sins, then the only thing that you need to do is realize that you have made a mistake, you have committed a sin, and the only thing that you need to do is believe in Allah Azza wa Jal and ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you." The second day he returned again and said, "O Imam, I have yet again committed another sin. What shall I do this time?" The Imam looked at him and said, "You need to continue to do the same thing. Realize your mistake, realize the sin that you have committed, and then ask Allah Azza wa Jal by His names that He is Ar-Rahman, He is Ar-Rahim, He is the King of the Day of Judgment, and ask Allah to forgive you again. Allah will surely forgive you." He again returned the third day and said, "O Imam, 2 days I have been coming to you, and I am so much ashamed that I cannot even look in your eyes and say, 'Oh Imam, I have committed another sin.'" Imam looked at him again and said, "O person, why is it that you are ashamed?" He says, "Oh my master, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal for forgiveness, but again I commit a sin after sin. Oh Imam, and you keep telling me that Allah will forgive you, ask Him for forgiveness. Oh Imam, tell me, when is it that Allah Azza wa Jal will stop forgiving me?" Listen to this beautiful reply of Imam Sajjad and realize that even the most pious people in this world, even a time comes upon them that even they make a mistake. We are neither angels, neither are we imams or prophets, that we are ma'asum, we are free from sin. We can make a mistake at any time. He says to the Imam, "Oh Imam, I am so much ashamed that yet again I keep committing sin. Oh Imam, tell me, when is it that Allah Azza wa Jal will stop forgiving me?" The Imam looked at him and smiled and said, "Oh person, you have still not understood who Allah is. You say that He is Rahman, you say that He is Rahim, but still again you doubt His mercy." He again says, "Oh Imam, when is it that Allah will stop forgiving me?" The Imam looks at him and says, "Oh person, when a person stops asking his Lord for forgiveness, that is when Allah will stop forgiving him." O Mu'mineen, O followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, we are in this dunya until we stop breathing, until this soul leaves our body, we still have a position to ask Allah Azza wa Jal for forgiveness. Use this time that you have. Continue to ask Allah, because Imam says when we stop asking Him, He will stop forgiving us. Another thing that we need to realize, that whenever we do an action, and as I have been repeating from the first of Muharram, any action that you do it with the intention of qurbatan ilallah. Every single action is solely for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because if we go upon what people think, then neither our a'mal are accepted, neither our du'as are accepted. Someone came to Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam and said, "Oh Imam, why is it that people always look at me, that I am doing a'mal, I am doing du'as, I am doing ibadat for the pleasure of others, but I am only doing a'mal for the pleasure of Allah?" Listen to the reply that Imam Sajjad gives. He says, "Oh person, if you spend your life pleasing others, you won't be able to please all of them. But realize one thing, your Lord, by just making an intention, your Lord is pleased with you." This is why we are always requested and asked to do the niyat for the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah. Why? As soon as you make the intention for the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah al-Hussain, whether you go to his ziyarat 5 years later, or you don't even have the ability to go, Imam says as soon as you make the intention, Allah Azza wa Jal appoints His angels to constantly do dua for you, so that you can go for the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah al-Hussain. That's why always make intention solely for the pleasure of Allah, because we can never please other people. A story from the time of Hazrat Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam. Hazrat Luqman was once sitting with his son, and Hazrat Luqman says to his son, "Oh my son, I am giving you a knowledge today. I am going to teach you something today. That no matter what we do in our life, we can never please other people." So his son said that surely I would like to learn this lesson. So Hazrat Luqman says to his son, "Oh son, get your donkey out today and let's go for a stroll in the town." As they are walking, Hazrat Luqman's son is sitting on the donkey. Hazrat Luqman is walking behind. And as they pass a group of people, they look at Hazrat Luqman and they say that what sort of son is he, that his old father is walking behind and the son, he is sitting on the donkey. As they pass these people, Hazrat Luqman says to his son that, "Oh my son, now you walk behind, now I will sit on the donkey." As they pass another group of people, the people look at his son and say that what sort of a father is he, that he is on the donkey and the son is walking behind. So both father and son continue. Hazrat Luqman says, "Now my son, we will both sit on the donkey." So both father and son get onto the donkey and they pass another group of people. And this time, These group of people look at both father and son and say, look at these people. How much weight have they put on this poor donkey? Both father and son are sitting on the donkey when one of them could walk and one of them could sit on the donkey. Hazrat Luqman looks at his son and says, oh son, when we passed the first group of people, they looked at me and said that what sort of father am I? Then the second group of people looked at you and said, what sort of son are you? And now they are saying, what sort of people are we? So Hazrat Luqman says, let's walk the donkey and both of us, we will walk side by side. So as they pass the fourth set of people, people look at them and begin to laugh. And they say, what sort of people are these? That Allah, God has given them a mode of transportation. But yet again they decide to walk. So Hazrat Luqman looks at his son and says, have you learned a lesson today? No matter what you decide to do, it's a lesson that we need to take. That no matter what happens, no matter what we decide to do, we should do it only for the pleasure of Allah. Because life is too short. And if we continue to please other people, if we continue to listen to other people, then life is too short, but we won't be able to please every person. This month of Muharram, these 10 days up to the day of Ashura, Allah has given you an opportunity to learn from Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Even in this lockdown, we are still doing the zikr of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Why? Because it is our belief. It is our firm belief. No matter which situation we are in, if we want our du'as to be accepted, if we want our prayers to be answered, if we want our amal to be accepted, then there is no greater way than doing the zikr of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. We can only find success through the zikr of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam says that a person gets weaker, a person becomes more sinful, and his heart begins to die when he continues to do four things. Remember, the topic is that how we can get closer to Allah through Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam says, four things makes the heart of a believer dead. Four things. The first thing, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, when a person commits a sin and a person does a wrong action and continuously he follows the wrong action by a wrong action, Amir al-Mu'mineen says that his heart begins to die. For example, if we wake up in the morning and we lie, and then we continue our day by backbiting, we continue our day by doing hasads, and our day completes by continuing to do a wrong action after a wrong action, and we don't even realize what we are doing. Sometimes people become in the habit of committing a guna, a sin. For example, a person swears And sometimes he does not even realize, and he's speaking and he swears. That is a wrong action. As soon as we do a wrong action, like the first hadith Imam Sajjad al-Islam says, that when you do a mistake, straight away ask Allah. You are not asking any person. You are asking your Rabb, who is Ghaffar, who is Rahman, who is Rahim, who is Kareem. Ask Allah straight away. Who knows that if you make a sin and you leave your house thinking that when you return, you will ask Allah Azza wa Jal for forgiveness, and as you are leaving your house, the angel of death comes and takes your soul. When will you ask Allah for forgiveness? So the first thing Amir al-Mu'mineen says, wrong action, followed by wrong action, and not asking Allah Azza wa Jal for forgiveness, that kills the person's heart. The second thing Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam says, that when a person starts spending time with foolish people, his heart begins to die. What does Amir al-Mu'mineen mean by spending time with foolish people? Someone said to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Ali, who is a foolish person? Amir al-Mu'mineen says that a foolish person is that person, when it is the time of namaz, he does not read namaz. Allahu Akbar. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, a foolish person is that person who does not know when to control his tongue. That is a foolish person. So Amir al-Mu'mineen says that spending time with foolish people, it is the month of Muharram, every single person is trying, no matter how hard it is during these times, by continuing to do the zikr of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. In our homes, azadari is taking place, matandari is taking place, majalis are taking place. The silsila that we have of distributing food in the name of Aba Abdullah, that is continuing in every single person's home. Every single person is continuing in their home, because at this moment in time, every single person's house is the Imam Bargah. It is the place where the zikr of Ali Muhammad is taking place. This is a blessing from Allah Azza wa Jal. So the second thing Imam says, spending time with foolish people, that also kills the heart. The third thing, Imam says that when a person spends more time with women, his heart becomes dead. That does not mean any woman. Allah Azza wa Jal and the Prophet of Islam and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam has explained to us in detail what is the asmat and fazilat of a mother, what is the asmat and fazilat of a sister, what is the asmat and fazilat of a wife. Every single person, every single woman has been given a status by Allah Azza wa Jal. Amir al-Mu'mineen, by saying spending time with women, are those women who are ghair mahram to you, sitting with them, talking with them, spending time with them. Amir al-Mu'mineen says it kills the heart of a believer. And the fourth and final thing, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam says that when a person dies and a person comes, now forgive me when I say this, we have made a culture that when someone dies and we go to do Fatiha, the first couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, we say to the person, we are so sorry to hear that your brother, your father, your grandfather has passed away. Read Fatiha And then the remaining time that we are sitting there, we are talking about the world. We are talking about when a person is going to go to his job tomorrow, what is he doing? If the person has been promoted or not. If a person has bought a new car, bought a new house. And if unfortunately a person attends such a gathering and he has bought a new phone, then all of the people sitting there will start speaking about his new phone. These are now part of our culture. We, through these 10 days of Muharram, need to make the intention that we need to change our society. We need to change our culture. We need to change our house according to the Seerat of Ali Muhammad. Amir al-Mu'mineen says the fourth and final thing. Amir al-Mu'mineen says that when a person goes to visit the dead, for example, if you go to the graveyard, Amir al-Mu'mineen says when a person spends that time indulging in worldly affairs, Amir al-Mu'mineen says our heart becomes dead. These times, especially when someone dies, there are times for us in which we need to realize what is the purpose of life. A waqia from Hazrat Bahlol, who was the student of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. Hazrat Bahlol one day woke up, left his village behind, went to the graveyard. For 3 months, Hazrat Bahlol stayed in the graveyard. The villagers got worried. They started questioning, where is Hazrat Bahlol? Where has Bahlol gone? Every single person is looking for Hazrat Bahlol. But no one could find Bahlol. One person said that I saw Hazrat Bahlol a few days ago. He was sitting in the graveyard. So a group of people left the village and they came to the graveyard. And look at the answer that Hazrat Bahlol gave. And I hope by this answer you learn something from today. Because the maqsad of Azadari, the maqsad of Majlis Hussain is that we learn something from the zikr of Aba Abdullah. So a group of people went to the graveyard. They saw Hazrat Bahlol sitting in a corner, counting the graves. They said to Hazrat Bahlol, oh Bahlol, why is it that for the last 3 months you are sitting in the graveyard? Hazrat Bahlol looks at them and says, oh people, I have come to the graveyard and I counted on the first day there were 50 graves here. And every single day I am counting 51, 54, 60, 65. And every single day this count is going up and up and up. I have not seen one person leave the graveyard and return to the village. So I, Bahlol, have decided if every single person is leaving the village and coming to the graveyard, I, the follower of Amir al-Mu'mineen, I have already come here and I have sat here thinking, Ya Allah, if our final resting place is this graveyard, why shall I wait until the angel of death comes and takes my soul? Learn something from this. This life is temporary. One day this life will come to an end. One day
Wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad bulantar salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. लगता है कि पाकिस्तान में किबला मौलाना सैयद इबरार नकवी साहब के इंटरनेट में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुई है, जिसकी वजह से उनकी जो है ना मजलिस डिस्कनेक्ट हो गई है। खुशनुदी मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद बुलंदतर सलावात। ये अज़ादारी नहीं रब से वफादारी है, ये अज़ादारी नहीं रब से वफादारी है, जिक्र शब्बीर भी खालिक की ज़मादारी है। यजीद दुश्मने दी दुश्मने खुदा ठहरा, हुसैन रुए खुदा दी की पनाह ठहरा, उसी का खौफ तुम्हारी सफ़ों पे तारी है। हुसैन और नमाजे खुदा में फर्क नहीं, हुसैन और नमाजे खुदा में फर्क नहीं, अज़ा हो जारी तो समझो नमाज तर्क नहीं, हुसैन के ही सबब ये नमाज जारी है। खुशनुदी मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद बुलंदतर सलावात। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद। हाज़रीन मजलिस के मरहूमीन जो इस दुनियाए फ़ानी से कूच फरमा गए हैं, उन सब की सेहत व सलामती के लिए भी बुलंदतर सलावात। अल्लाहुम्मा